What if Rexy, Buck, and Doe were a pack during the events of the Jurassic World movies? Hey, what is up, you guys? In today's video, we're going to be discussing that exact topic. What if Rexy, Buck, and Doe were a pack? So our adventure begins at the end of Jurassic World whenever Claire goes to let out Rexy, but now she's going to be letting out 3 Tyrannosaurus Rexes, Rexy, Buck, and Doe, because Buck and Doe are now living with Rexy on the island. So, Rexy, Buck, and Doe come out onto Main Street. Claire throws the flare at the Indominus Rex, which then makes the Indominus Rex look at the 3 Tyrannosaurus Rexes. Now, with the Indominus Rex being a super duper smart dinosaur, it's going to try to communicate with Rexy, Buck, and Doe to try to get them to side with it so they can take out the humans. But obviously, the T-Rexes, being very territorial and not thinking the Indominus Rex looks much like them, they're obviously going to attack the Indominus Rex. Now, the Indominus Rex is just going to try to stand its ground and not really try to go into the battle, because it'll probably end up dying because there's 3 T-Rexes, which obviously the Indominus Rex is going to end up backing down and the T-Rexes win. Now, the next time we are going to see Rexy, Buck, and Doe is when Claire, Owen, and all of them go back to the island in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom to retrieve the dinosaurs to get them off the island before the volcano erupts. Now, Owen and all of them go back to Main Street, where then they are going to be attacked by the T-Rex trio, where then there's going to be a couple of casualties, but obviously they're going to get out of there alive and make it to the tracking system place. Now, the next time we are going to see them is when when Owen, Claire, and Franklin are running away from the volcano, and obviously they're going to get attacked by the Carnotaurus. And then obviously out of nowhere, Rexy, Buck, and Doe are going to show up. Rexy is going to take out the Carnotaurus the same way, but now you're just going to have Buck and Doe just standing behind Rexy, and then obviously they're going to run off to get away from the volcano. Now obviously after Claire, Owen, and Franklin get out of the gyrosphere from Owen's help, they are going to see that Wheatley and all of them captured the T-Rex trio and took them back to the boat. And then Claire, Owen, and Franklin are going to get onto the boat, just like how we see in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Now, as we know in Fallen Kingdom, Velociraptor Blue got shot and she needed medical treatment, where then Owen and Claire had to go retrieve blood from the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now, obviously, they're going to still retrieve blood from a T-Rex because they're going to be in separate containers, but to change up the story a little bit, we'll say that they go to take blood from Buck, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. So obviously it's going to play out the exact same. He's going to be tranquilized, but I think he might be a little bit more aggressive and lethal than Rexy, because the Buck and Doe acted a lot more aggressive towards humans than Rexy ever did. So it's going to be a lot more intense of a scene than what it was with Rexy, which was still a very intense scene, but it's going to be a little bit more intense. But obviously, Owen and Claire are going to make it out of there alive. Now, the next time we are going to see the T-Rexes is at the end of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, when they go to let the dinosaurs out. Obviously, they're going to let out Rexy, Buck, and Doe. Well, Maisie is. And then Rexy, Buck, and Doe are going to be out in the mainland, and Rexy, Buck, and Doe are obviously going to eat Eli Mills, who's the main villain. And the Carnotaurus isn't going to be there. It's just going to be the 3 T-Rexes that team up on him and kill him. Now, obviously, as we all know, during Jurassic World Dominion, before Jurassic World Dominion, to hype it up, there was obviously the Dino Tracker website, which now we are obviously going to get updates on the 3 Tyrannosaurus Rexes, where we're going to get images, videos, etc. But another thing that would happen, since there's a T-Rex trio, is instead of getting the short film Battle at Big Rock, we're going to get a different short film, which would include the 3 Tyrannosaurus Rexes terrorizing a neighborhood or something, and destroying a lot of houses, destroying the neighborhood, destroying the houses, eating people, etc., and the people in that neighborhood barely surviving or something. And then obviously, as we know, Biosyn went after almost all of the dinosaurs that were on the mainland to try to get them out of the way so that people don't have to be as worried to go outside anymore. So obviously, we all know they went after Rexy, but now they're going to be going after the T-Rex trio, which is going to be a little bit harder to get them than just getting Rexy. But obviously, eventually, they would end up capturing all the T-Rexes and taking them to Biosyn Sanctuary. Now, as we know, Claire and Owen and Kayla Watts went to Biosyn Sanctuary, where then obviously they crash land with Owen and Kayla Watts do. But then obviously we know that they encounter Rexy and the Giganotosaurus in a fight. Now, as we know, the Indominus Rex did back down originally when it went up against Rexy, Buck, and Doe. So if you guys want to know more context on what would happen to the Indominus Rex if it survived, then go watch my other What If video if you want to know about the Indominus. But getting back to the main video. Well, obviously, Biosyn would capture the Indominus Rex, so now it's in the valley. Now, this is going to be a crucial part of this video. So, obviously, that scene is going to be changed. You're going to have Rexy, Buck, and Doe, but the Giga is not going to challenge the T-Rex trio. Now, here's where things get a little bit interesting. Obviously, Rexy, Buck, and Doe are going to go after the humans a couple times because T-Rexes are pretty territorial. So, yeah, and then the Giga is also going to go after them and all blah, 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 blah. But here's the interesting part. Once we get to the very end of Jurassic World Dominion, as we all know, the Indominus Rex is in the sanctuary, and we also know that the Indominus Rex has Giganotosaurus DNA in it. So, the Indominus Rex and the Giga are going to probably make an alliance to team up to take out the T-Rex trio, which then we are going to see at the very end when they're in the little Biosyn Sanctuary, the main headquarters for Biosyn. We're going to see a fight between the 3 T-Rexes and the Giga and the Indominus Rex, where obviously the T-Rexes are probably going to struggle because the Giga and the Indominus Rex would be a deadly duo, and because the Indominus Rex is now going to be fully grown, reaching I think like 22 feet tall and 50 feet long or something. I think that's how big it was supposed to get, so it's going to be a very big challenge. Now obviously the T-Rexes are going to win because, well, plot armor, I guess. So obviously the Therizinosaurus would probably show up if the T-Rexes are struggling, and obviously they're going to end up probably killing the Giga and the Indominus Rex. So now we get to the end of the story where obviously Rexy, Buck, and Doe are all going to be living in the Biosyn Sanctuary where they're going to be living a happy life. Now at the end of this, I'm going to talk briefly on Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theory. So in Camp Cretaceous, obviously, the campers will probably encounter the T-Rex trio a couple times. Then obviously in Chaos Theory, Rexy and Buck and Doe haven't appeared in that, so they probably would not appear in Chaos Theory if they were a trio. Alright guys, and that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have not yet, make sure to please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell to turn on post notifications so you'll never miss another video. And let me know in the comments if you guys thought this video was good. This has been Erwin Goji 14, signing out. Bye, guys.